What is up, YouTube? Today I'm coming at you with a video on how to disassemble, maintain, and reassemble your Smart Parts Ion solenoid and armature assembly. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take off your bracket. This is the board. Right here is your solenoid and armature assembly. For all you beginners out there, what you're going to want to do first is take off this bracket. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you to use pliers and try to pry this bracket off. You do not want to do that, in my opinion. I think that's a very risky thing. You're at great risk of damaging this red coil. If you damage that red coil, your board will be permanently damaged. You're not going to be able to repair it, and you're going to have to buy a new one. So, you're going to find a tool that's stiff enough to pry this bracket off, that's small enough to fit into this little hole. Then what you're going to do is you're going to slide it into that hole, and you're going to start just working the bracket off back and forth. As you can see, it's starting to come off. Now where you want to do that is this little plastic piece up top. You don't want to work it on that red coil because, again, if you damage the coil, your board's broken. Then all you have to do after that is pull up the top of the solenoid assembly. You want to check that O-ring. You want to make sure there's no damage to it, no grease, no gunk. If there is, clean it off. You don't want anything in your solenoid other than the pieces that are supposed to be there. Now, normally the armature would be in there. However, I'm maintaining mine. This is what the armature looks like. As you can see, my rubber tip is mashed and I have to get a replacement. The seal is no longer good. So, what you want to do if you're maintaining it, want to make sure your armature still works. You're going to plug your 9-volt battery in, pull the trigger, make sure the armature is jumping inside of there. You can pull the trigger with the top off. Make sure it's jumping, make sure it's clicking good. If it's not, clean it out, maintain it, keep your ion in good shape. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a Q-tip and you're going to want to run it around in there. Make sure there's no gunk, debris. If there is, get it all out. You don't want anything. You don't want to lube your solenoid. You don't want to lube your armature or the O-ring that goes in it. You want your solenoid to be completely dry and free of any dirt or debris. So, once you have that all in, you're going to put your armature back in. Make sure the rubber tip is down. You're going to put it in like that. Then, once it's seated in there, you're going to take your top part of your assembly, simply push it back in, make sure it's fully seated. When it's fully seated, the gold part right there is going to be flush with the plastic. And then all you have to do is take your bracket, make sure the longer side is on the top. That's how you know it's going in the correct way. Then what I like to do is I like to use this round part of the board right here and just use that to push it back in, because I'm real careful with the board, the green part of this assembly, and I don't like the idea of possibly damaging that because these things go for like 25 bucks for a board, and so I'm not trying to pay that. And then what you want to do is you just want to push very gently, make sure you're not going to damage anything, and then you'll know it's fully seated whenever the top part is flush with this little metal piece right there, and the bottom is just past the bottom round part of this piece of plastic. And then your solenoid and armature, your board is fully reassembled. That's how you do it. I'm going to be coming at you guys with more videos on Smart Parts Ion maintenance. The reason I started making these videos is because I was a beginner. I got a hand-me-down ion and I didn't really know how to maintenance it. And there weren't that great of instructional or quality videos on YouTube on how to do that. So I'm going to be making more of these. Stick around, drop a like, drop a subscribe. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm just doing this to help all of you beginners out, especially those who don't know how to maintain your ion. See you later.